Hey guys, and welcome to another Factorio Mod Spotlight. I'm Exterminator, and thank you for joining me. Today we are going over the compressed materials mod. The dev of this mod contacted me and asked me to review it and do a spotlight on it, and I checked it out. It looks pretty awesome, so here we are. I've done one similar to this a while ago. I believe it was called like miniaturization or something. Which is similar. So what this does is, as you might have guessed based on the name, this lets you compress down items, from like a whole stack into just one item that's compressed, and then you later uncompress it. And I really like how this is done, actually. So let's go over a few things here. First off, in regards to research, there is a research here. So after you get your logistics 3, you get this, which lets you do kind of basic-ish items. And then this one lets you do modules. And then this one lets you do, higher tier, fusion reactors and stuff like that. So what this does is it adds 2 new tabs, and you'll notice the GUI is much larger, and that's a little wonky. The reason for that is because this is a very long list. I wish there was some type of scroll or something instead of having this huge all the time, but that's just a very minor gripe. So what we have is we have compressed recipes and then uncompressed recipes. So this is essentially like everything you can compress. And what's cool about this is that it's dynamic, so it'll pretty much compress anything with a stack size greater than 1. Right, so things have different stack sizes, science packs stack in 200s, circuits, blue circuits at least, stack in 100s, barrels stack in 10s. It'll just compress a stack of whatever item it is, however much that item stacks to, into one compressed item. So it'll compress a stack of barrels, which happens to be 10, into one compressed barrel, a stack of copper, which happens to be 100, into one compressed copper. So it's really nice because it just is dynamic and just knows the stack size of every item. And according to the dev, the forum post here, it should work with pretty much any modded items as well. If it can detect them, since it's dynamic, it should just work with those two. So let's get started. Any assembler can compress items. Just to demonstrate, I will grab all these assemblers, and so you go here, you select a recipe, and it doesn't seem to matter how complicated it is. Any assembler can do it. Obviously, the speed is going to come to an effect. It's going to be quite slow. You can see this takes 12.5 seconds to actually compress this. So this you have to select the recipe, and any assembler can do it. However, there is a new machine called a automatic compressor, and not only does this work at a crafting speed of 3, which is more than double the speed of a level 3 assembler, but it automatically selects a recipe based on what is put into it. So we'll demonstrate that in a second, but essentially how this works is quite simple. So we have copper here. I'm just going to grab a stack of copper, and you stick this in. This guy will insert. This takes 25 seconds. So it does take a while. That's where like these would come in really handy. But this is going to spit out 1 compressed copper plate. And then later, if you actually want the copper out to use it, you just do the uncompress recipe, right? So you go in here and you just select the uncompressed, this one, and this will dump 100 copper plate out. So you take this, you could chain these, obviously. I don't know why you would compress and then instantly uncompress, but so you just stick one of these in here, fill uncompress, dump 100 copper. This works with pretty much anything. So I think this would be really helpful for like outpost building, right? Because you could compress, a ton of belt, a ton of inserters, miners, robots, whatever you want beforehand, and bring like a couple of these guys with you, and then go to your outpost or whatever, if you're going to do a whole ton of outposts at once, and then just plop these down and uncompress it, and you have a ton of materials there that you just carried in your pocket because they're all compressed. So then we take this and we have 100 copper. So this is really cool. So what this does, right, is it dynamically or automatically selects a recipe based on what the inserter puts in. So if we stick in, say, some science packs and some circuits, and let's take something else. Let's take like oh, I don't know, barrels. We stick barrels in here. This guy will automatically compress based on what's being inserted. So this thing started with the barrels and boom, it's done. Super fast. And we'll actually just stick an output here. And he chose blue circuit, so now it's just automatically selecting what's in here instead of you having to manually go in and do it. So that's really nice, and this is faster as well. So you can just kind of like throw stuff in here and it'll just, you know, chew through it and spit it out here in your compressed form, which is really cool. So that, I mean, that's pretty much it. You can compress, I think it's almost every item in the game. I mean, pretty much. Radars, you know, whatever. And, you know, whatever their stack size is, right? So, you know, things have a different stack size. It'll just compress an entire stack, whatever that may be, down into one. And then the actual compressed things stack to 50. So, and that can be changed in the config file. So like this copper or whatever, I can have 50 compressed stacks of this, which would actually be, what would that be, 5,000? Because each compressed stack is 100, since that's what copper stacks to. You know, so I can carry like 5,000 in a whole stack of compressed copper. And it may seem OP, but I mean, it's really nice. Definitely, you know, for if you want to go do a lot of outpost building and stuff, it can be very, very nice. But anyway, I believe that's it. Again, this should work with pretty much any mod that adds new items to the game if it can detect them. There will be 2 links in the description. One to the mod portal where you can actually download it, and another to the forum post where most of the information is. The info on the mod portal is a little bit lacking, but the forum post has quite a bit more info. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If I forgot anything, which I hope I didn't, let me know down in the comments. And if you did enjoy, feel free to leave a like. But until next time, I look forward to seeing you all, and take care.